Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pissed Off Parent Show. Now you know who the special guest is that we have tonight. Got a cool show for you. We're gonna be talking about bad bills. I had horrible bills, horrible Texas bills. Got
Absolutely.
special guest Joe, and we're gonna be talking about the horrible bills that are coming down the pipe, coming to a checkbook near you. And hopefully we can kind of get some stuff ramped up here, get some people involved, and let our legislators and judges and all the people involved with this stuff, let them know exactly what we think of them, and try to get this changed. So we'll kind of jump in here. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about, and who knows, jump into the chat line, ask any questions, comments. Anything. I'll apologize up front. I've got a dorky headset on, kind of doing that Princess Leia thing going on right now. My new one should be getting delivered here probably in about 20 minutes, right in the middle of airtime. But I figure, what the hey. But anyway, Joe, how you doing, man?
I am doing good, man.
You're
First
doing
off,
good.
thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Dwayne, I've been kicking the idea, not specifically, but it's been talked about with some of the people locally over here in Texas. We're starting to talk about these bills. You've been doing that.
Yeah.
You've been doing it on your own, and it's great that you're letting me piggyback, right? Because it's there's one of many out there. I wanted to try and take the approach like John Stickland would do with Bad Bill of the Week, but
Yeah.
I think they're coming in hot and heavy, man.
You can't have you can't have it like once a week. It's like once an hour. These things are coming in like
Yeah,
crazy. It came in like a wrecking ball. I mean, it's nuts how. I mean, it's almost like every hour a new bill comes in, and you do a quick search, and you're like, oh my god, what is going through these people's heads? What is going on down in Austin? What are they doing? So yeah.
trying to make those lobbyists happy, man. It's time to return those favors, bud.
Oh, exactly.
Is
It
ultimately
is.
what it comes down to. I think David Lowe, he posted something. He did a metric where he was measuring how many bills were filed early this legislative session compared to like the last 4 or 5. And he put on the caption that the lobbyists have been busy. Like it was three or
Yeah.
four times many bills that were filed early in the past 5 years. So they're ramping up for sure. I mean, the reality is the majority of people don't realize that the people that we go and elect don't represent us. They say they do to get that vote, but once they go down there in Austin,
Well,
they switch sides. So
yeah, well, yeah, and last week I tied together how the on the retroactive child support bill, which you haven't watched those, go back and watch them. Where they've been trying to put through on a national level this retroactive child support bill, which basically allows any mother to name any man as baby daddy, and then get him to pay all kinds of stuff like crib and car seats and formula and postpartum wages, and that I think lasts like 30, 40 years or something, and everything else. And it was weird because they've been trying to do this, and then all of a sudden, well, there was a report that came out from ACF, which I showed to everybody last week, that showed that they've been hurting on the child support numbers in that Title IV defunding. And then magically Roe v. Wade gets returned back to the states, which I'm a huge pro-life guy. Glad it happened. There's just too much of a coincidence there. But when that happened, bam, just bill after bill after bill on retroactive child support out of Texas, because Texas lost a lot of money. Even though they got the largest bonus check for doing it, they still lost money over the last few years. And bill we're going to be talking about tonight seems to have a little bit of that same flavor.
oh yeah.
It's one of these quinky dinks, I like to call them. So I guess, well, without further ado, let's kind of jump in. I'm going to pop up the actual bill here. Hopefully everybody can read it. It's HB 658. And it's from our good buddy that we all should know and love, David Cook. Now, if you don't know, and a little tongue in cheek there, if you don't know Davey here, Let me pop up his mug real quick. There he is. There's that handsome, sparkling-eyed man there. And so
Selling you
last
snake,
year,
selling you snake oil, buddy. Selling you snake oil.
yeah. So if you don't know who David Cook is, and again, I'm part. There's like that part of me that wants to see the good in people, even though I'm the pissed off parent. I want to see the good. But a couple years ago, we had HB 803. Everyone should know about HB 803. It's the Equal Shared Parenting Bill, and we were going back and forth, and they were playing their game. And I've talked a million times. I think I even whipped out. I'm releasing all kinds of fun stuff here. But this thing here, and that's what happened. I mean, that was textbook what they ended up doing. But he and I got into a text argument back and forth, and he said, "I will write the next 50-50 bill. He's going to do it." And I believe we're still waiting.
Yeah, we are. So
Okay.
just
Right.
just a little bit of the background. I was down there with 150 plus parents from Texas. Eric Carroll came into town.
I know Eric.
Oh yeah, y'all been doing good, man. Y'all been knocking it out of the park, bud. We were down there. He came down there from out of state. It was a long day. It's a tactic that they use to try and stall people. It's a waiting game.
Oh yeah.
Right? I think we were there till 10, 11, 12 o'clock, give or take. It was in the wee hours of the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was majority of the people were in favor of it, right? Cook was on the committee. We can pull up some of the testimony of how he was berating some of the parents during the committee when they were, pretty much pouring their hearts out. There's videos of me. My mom was there with me. My wife was there. And it was for some parents, it was hard to keep your composure. But whenever you're talking about something that you created, that's yours, it's got your DNA, it's hard to. But yeah, he was down there after the fact. He caught some heat. I've talked to him a few different times. I talked to him at a political event, probably 2 or 3 different ones. Met him down there in Austin to give complaints at the SEJC.
Mm-hmm.
He knows my face. I'm not anybody special. Yeah, I'm not anybody special, but I think I'm able to hold my own. I'm going to call it how I see it respectfully. And whenever when any one of us have approached this stuff, one of the things is that I've told him is I know about the bill that's in the family code that is supposed to maximize child support, right?
Yeah.
This guy very well knows what he's doing. He's got one of the biggest law firms in Mansfield. He's a state rep. He was a freshman. This is his second go round, and it looks like he's ready to put his dues in with doing the dirty deeds with these bills, which this is one of them. So that's what we kind of I made a post about it the other day with the CPS thing that was going on. I think it was where that child, which unfortunately has gone to the other side. Hopefully people will start paying attention to this stuff because they're coming in hot this legislative session.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be covering some of that. You've already covered some of it, but hopefully after beating the drum over and over and maybe trying to, take a step back after we do a section of it, collect some information and connect more of the dots because, I'm a registered Republican, but I've told you, I was hitting the all the different campaign events this last election cycle, man, and it's so frustrating because people that say they're conservative Republicans will get somebody behind someone like this willingly with no question, not even batting an eye. It's no different than my state rep, Stephanie Click. David Lowe was going against him. He came so close to getting them to beating her in the runoff, but it's just voter ignorance, allegiance to these politicians like they think they're their friends.
Yeah,
so,
we definitely gotta. I mean, this is where again we got to get people involved. We got to get them not worrying about who wore what at the Grammy, who won the Super Bowl, and all that stuff, and get into this stuff because the thing is, your kids and your kids' future are at stake. I mean, my kids, your kids, lost cause. It's gonna be for them going forward. That's that's the important thing.
Absolutely, that's something we shared that we both have said with you. It's not about us. It's bigger than us. Yeah. It's for the future generation, so that they don't have to deal with it. Because once this stuff passes, I mean, the last time I checked, you don't get your liberties back once they've been given up. I mean, we've seen that COVID firsthand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So jumping into this bill though, and I did a little bit of research. Now, I'm just going to say like right now, the opinions expressed on this show are pissed off parents. And I'm not an attorney, neither is Joe. Last I checked, we're just a couple of guys that are trying to. We see an issue, we want to fix it. Of course, I like to say, experts built the Titanic and an amateur built the Ark. And we all know how those worked out. So hopefully we can make a difference. But let's jump into this bill here. This bill actually is, for the most part, well, most of it's there except for what's highlighted in green is actually passed. As of right now in Texas, there is CPS immunity for CPS. A double negative there, I guess. But what David Cook, I don't know, David Cook saw this. He knows what's going on in Texas right now with CPS. And rather than say, you know what, these guys should not be allowed to get away with doing bad stuff. This isn't doing their job and then, they get sued by a upset parent or whatever for no reason. This is they screwed up or they did something wrong and they should be penalized. These guys right now have immunity from prosecution. And what David Cook's wanting to do is give contractors. Now, no hate out to the contractors of the world, but I work with contractors, and there's a different, on top of even with everything else, there's a different feel of when I work with a full-time employee with the company and a contractor that's just paid as a third party. But he's thought in his infinite wisdom to go ahead and extend this civil and criminal liability to contractors. That's an actual bill. And what I want you to understand also is that we have so many stories. We have even more information on this, but we have so many stories of CPS screwing up. This is a really bad one. There's a number of others. I won't bore everybody with a lot of it, but I just wanted everyone to kind of listen in on this one case here that actually happened in Tarrant County. Actually in my backyard.
Was running away and causing trouble at school.
My daughter told me that the worker had been telling her that she should do these things. So she said she decided to video her.
You hear something, please?
CPS is housing the girl at a hotel. She's one of dozens in Harris County. In the video, she tells the CPS employee she wants food. The CPS worker tells her to be a prostitute.
I mean, she was basically encouraged.
So this is, I don't know if she's a full-time employee or a contractor. So you have a kid that was put into the system. And again, we can talk about, did she belong there? Did she not belong there? Whatever. But this employee or contractor, I don't know, thought that the best solution was to tell her to go prostitute herself. That's what she's telling a 14-year-old kid. And guys and girls out there in TV land, this actually happened. This isn't like a Netflix or made-for-TV movie. This actually happened, and based on the law that we have today, one, that person is going to not get prosecuted for that. And David Cook thinks it's in his infinite wisdom to extend that to contractors. I don't know, Joe. What do you think? What do you think of that? I mean,
well, last time I checked, prostitution was illegal, right? This is pretty much someone that works for the state. Mm-hmm. It's soliciting a minor.
Yeah.
So, is this coming from David Cook, who they highly thought of Republican
moral conservative? Yeah.
Right. And that's part of the thing that people are, just with the GOP, people are willing to accept immediacy or so-called conservative values and overlook it, get their vote.
Yeah, well, this isn't even mediocre. I mean, if you or I were to have said that, if our kids came to us and said, "Hey, I'm hungry. I want a burger or something," I said, "Go prostitute yourself." We would never see our children again. I mean, that is ridiculous. I have more. I mean, there was one. It's actually on the pissed off parent side. I pulled it down there, and I apologize for how small the video is. But this is Lori Brown, and everyone knows my love for Lori Brown. But she actually did a news story on children that have been through the CPS system. So let's listen into that and see what children who've actually been through the system, what they actually think.
My name is Liberty Hamilton. I am 14 years old. I was removed from my mom's house on February 18th of 2020.
After 4 hours of testimony from experts in the foster care industry, it was this panel of young women with firsthand experience in the foster system who provided the most eye-opening information.
I was placed in foster care until June 6th of 2020. It was the most traumatic experience I have ever had.
Liberty Hamilton testified before the Special Senate Committee on CPS that her foster mom abused alcohol and drugs.
She would always leave pipes laying around that she used to smoke.
Hamilton said her foster mom would sometimes not feed her and her 2 little brothers dinner, and they would go to bed hungry.
She would party all night with loud music and random guys. She would say they were just business partners.
It was during the pandemic, so CPS only had virtual appointments.
She forced us to lie to CPS for her. She would stand outside the room when we were on private calls with our mom to make sure we didn't tell her anything.
Hamilton told lawmakers her mom had already placed them in a safe home of a friend.
So that's yet another example of our wonderful, firsthand accounts of our CPS children that have actually been through the system that David Cook knows about. And yet, instead of writing a bill that says, no, CPS agents and contractors that do these type of things should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, he says, nah, let's go ahead and just give it to everybody. Let's give civil and criminal immunity to all of them, including the contractors. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Well, and again, it's kind of in the same vein of once they give that free pass out, now they're looking to even expand that free pass out even more, right? Mm-hmm. Because you would think that, hey, I'm a conservative Republican, I'm aware of this stuff, I'm going to put a stop to it. You know, there's no checks and balance system, which we've seen with story after story after story within the family court services on its own. I mean, the SCJC is a joke. I've talked to one of the guys that's on the board. I was down there last year with, 30, 40 other parents. I've talked to the wife of the guy that was on the board. My judge is a repeat offender, but it's all in the same stuff. It's a fox guard in the hen house. Again, this is the conversation about Cook and him further expanding, hey, get out of jail free card, and you're not going to get in trouble for bad behavior. Because like you said, if we were to try and solicit to a minor of selling your body to try and make ends meet, we'd be thrown in jail.
Yeah,
we'd be prosecuted. That's for sure. We're not under the protection of the family court services and all the little cogs that they have in their will.
Exactly. Yeah, and also something that pissed off parent site, but you can find it elsewhere. I won't go ahead and play the video. I just kind of describe it here. But at the appellate court, we have a CPS agent that's talking to judges, saying that they should be allowed to lie, falsify documents, etc., and not have any issues with doing that, all for the protection of the children. I believe my understanding is the judge is rightly, I think, laughed at her. So there is some, at least hope, at least at the appellate level. But these attorneys, this is their mindset. This is how they think. And we have, again, David Cook, who's also an attorney with the Family Law Foundation, who is in support of these things. He thinks this is okay to do that, which is just absolutely insane. I don't know. I mean, Joe, I believe you've watched that video. And of course have seen a lot more than that. I mean, what rational reason or what reason could David Cook possibly have? And I'd love to have David Cook on the show to talk to him.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Actually, personal thing here. Sorry to interrupt, but personal thing, David. If you remember me, you and I got into that tussle about 2 years ago over HB 803, and you had told me that you were going to write the first equal shared parenting bill. Of course, I've later learned that this right here is the form. Let's
take a look real quick. Show that form, Dwayne, and then let's take a look at all the different bills that he's filed, but yet hasn't been able to get to the 50-50 bill yet.
Yeah.
Show that other page real quick, just so people can see kind of the process, how the legislature is set up for people that represent us. They think, hey, that's how they pull the wool over our eyes. That's what they did with House Bill 803. Right here.
we've this has been out there, and this is something that everyone needs to understand. And if you've been following HB 803 or really any bill, you'll, if you're honest with yourself, you notice they all follow this process. They will say, "Hey, I'm filing this bill," and they have the people behind the scenes. It's like WWE wrestling, and they'll wait to the very end and tell you, "Hey, it's the process, whatever." They'll get it killed, even though they can actually, get it to the floor for a vote. And they go, "Well, we did our best. Give me some more money," and then laugh at you all the way to the bank. So I mean,
for the
that's
House,
how it works.
For House Bill 803, which is the shared parenting bill. Pretty much in layman terms, it allowed two parents to start at 50-50 in a divorce.
Yep.
Judge could step in. It had, I think the bill had the most co-authors, right? So
yeah, it was 19, 20.
Bipartisan support, Democrats, Republicans, males, females supported it. And they had it. They had the hearing at the last minute. Honestly, they waited till the very end of session for us to hear it. Again, 150 parents. The only people that were opposed, and there's always some of the outliers, right? Mothers have, and fathers to that extent can say, "Hey, well, this was my situation." Those always pop up, but the majority of parents want to be actively involved in their children's lives. Out of all the testimonies, there were some cases of abuse, which, hey, it needs to take the proper protocol. And then, of course, the leeches, the people that were with the Texas Family Law Foundation that was opposing it. But
the only people that opposed it were the Family Law Foundation and Judith Wells out of Tarrant County.
Yes,
we all know why they did.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it's their cash cow, And again, Cook is pushing for this bill that he's already gotten out, but he's been saying since then. Once people started going after him and he was catching heat, "Hey, I'm going to get a 50." I've talked to him personally. He knows my face. He might not know my name. He knows my face, and he's not going to blow smoke up my backside, right? Let's show him the screen of all the bills that he's introduced so far and still hasn't had a chance to get to the 50-50 bill yet.
This is, and if we get a chance, we'll talk to a few of these because I read one or two of them, and you should be scared. Any person needs to be, any dad, any father, anyone with any amount of assets needs to be scared at this point.
Absolutely. And in particular, I mean, I know we loosely have some of the statistics with the how frequent out of the population of people that get divorced that are divorces are initiated by mothers versus fathers.
70 to 80%.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole custody, the state getting money off of the backs of fathers that get kicked out of their children's lives. And even more so, for that 30% of women that get custody, one of the ones that they should be paying attention to, because it could affect them too, because ultimately it depends on really who files a motion first with the courts, right? Because there are some mothers that get affected by it, but the bill, Cook hasn't had time to get the 50-50 bill, but he definitely was able to get this bill, right, to give immunity for contractors, and then also the bill to make sure that the lawyers are getting their fees, right? We want to make sure that's another juicy one that again people should be scared of, both mothers and fathers, but more so fathers, because they're 70% of the time the divorce is getting initiated by their spouse or wife.
Yeah, and just to give some quick stats, national average is 70 to 80% of the time the female files for divorce, and the reasons are varying. Most of the time just because they're unhappy, of course, the no-fault divorce thing. But in Texas, it's at 94, 96% of the time they get primary custody, child support, cash and prizes, and everything else. And actually, Cook has introduced a bill that's going to make that even worse. So maybe that'll be either a future episode or, maybe even get time to talk about it tonight.
Absolutely. These are some of the, which one is this? Is the contractor one?
This is the contractor bill, right?
Yeah. And there's no shortage of information, right? People that have their ear to the pulse, instead of just paying attention to meaningless things that really don't serve any value to our society, right? It's a known issue that there's failures with CPS. You can't find a shortage of story after story in the state of Texas. Houston is a melting pot of fraud. We saw the lady that was being solicited for sex. I think that there's that judge. I mean, you can just pull it up on Google, CPS, Texas, and you'll find link after link after link of stuff that
Right.
makes you want to question why is Cook wanting to add immunity to contractors. Honestly, it makes me want to question, well, what's in the future? Does he got possibly investments of opening up the center? I know that there's brighter possibilities down there in Tarrant County. Could that be considered a contractor, right? I know CPS stuff. It's just there's not a shortage of stories, right? I know that Brooks McKenzie, which he's in the inner circle of the advocates in Tarrant County and Texas, not in Tarrant County, Texas in general. He's based down in East Texas, but he's talked about some of the stuff that we're talking about tonight, right? The fact that we've lost government funding because Texas has sucked so bad in the CPS arena. I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and let's jump into that. So let me pull up here on the screen. Again, this is going to be hopefully some education, some entertainment. We'll just call that edutainment. Sorry, I had to throw a dad joke in there. So this is a graph we have from the Tax Foundation that shows the percentage who gets federal funding. We all hopefully know all about Title 4D, Title 4E, which is that CPS aspect that we can dive into at some point in the future. I don't want to bore everybody. Title 4D does that enough. But so in Texas, we get 32.6% of our money from the feds. So for the guys out there who are like, we're going to secede and Texas is a proud state and we're conservative and we're blah, 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 there's your number right there. Our conservative, Republican, GOP, whatever we want to call them, this is what they've done. And what they've done to your families. I should be very specific there. 32.6% of our funds right there. I did learn, and let me pull that up here. So, and I think that part of the reason why we're getting all these, a lot of these bills for Title 4D, and then what they're doing with the retro child support and some other things is, and I've read a few articles on it, but here is one that was reported on the Texas Tribune. Here, the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services stands to lose a collective $43 million in federal funding between 2022 and 2023. Oh wait, what year is this? Oh, it's 2023. Oh, wow, yeah. What a coincidence for being out of compliance with the Family First program. Now, Family First program, and I'm gonna break this down for y'all. Family First program is the feds saying, hey, we'll give you this money if you put programs in place that will keep kids with their parents. Well, Texas, and let me know if this sounds kind of familiar. I'm gonna give you a hint: child support and Title 4D funding. I'm gonna really bottom shelf it for you. But for the Title 4E piece of it, they went, let's see, I can make, this amount of money putting kids first and keeping them in families, or I can make this amount of money by ripping them out of their parents' houses and then selling them out in the open market. Which one do you think they chose?
Money, money, money.
Money, 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 every single time.
They're making it rain.
Yeah, I know. And this is, another article where they're talking about where they did, the money here it's got, it's about to lose $17.4 million in 2022 and $25.6 million in 2023. This is, this is what's happening right now. And, it's one of those, if you don't want to believe it, great. If you're I'm a conservative, so are you. It disgusts me what's happened to our party.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jeff Younger's is the most common, because it's got the good Democrats that say, hey, wait a minute, trying to sex change your children, that's just wrong. Even people in the LGBTQ community that haven't lost their minds, right, that aren't lunatics, have said, hey, this is wrong. Greg Abbott, how many special sessions did he have? 3, 4?
3. He had 3 special sessions, 1 the regular session, then 3 more specials.
And our so-called most conservative legislature was not able to get a bill passed to protect children of Texas, is what it comes down to. But if you follow the money, I know it's been kicked around that he got money from, all 3 of them, Abbott, Phelan, and the lieutenant governor got money from pharmaceutical companies. So, people should really do their research. We don't have to go deep into it. There's all the information's out there. right?
Yeah.
Of why things don't get passed. I've talked with Younger before. He said that they were able to, the day they were hearing his bill, that they passed a bill to make, I think, Dr. Pepper the state drink of Texas. That's what they were able to
That's what they're
pass.
spending their time on.
But they weren't able to get something like that passed. They weren't able to get a 50-50 shared parenting bill passed, but our most conservative state legislature was able to get a bill passed that said, if you have a dog, when it's in the winter, you can't keep it outside. Right. That's what they value a canine more than they do to protect the children of Texas. I mean, it's really scary.
With Jeff, I mean, when you bring Jeff Younger up, I mean, he did what probably, not what a lot of people would do. He said, you know what, this is wrong. Obviously, these guys are too incompetent to do it. I'll just throw up my little graphic there. This is what I think of most of the legislators out there. I'm going to go ahead and throw my hat in the ring and do this. And he went out, and everyone, I'm sure, has seen the famous UNT video and all the other stuff.
I was
there. You were there. The Republican Party gave money, I want to say either a couple $100,000 or $1 million or some large amount of money to Jeff's opponent, who I don't believe even had a track record or had a clue or anything. I don't know the guy at all.
No, I think he was on city council.
He's on city council. Okay.
Yeah, because I helped Younger, I think at least once I was out there helping him on election night. And but yeah, he was on city council. So
his opponent?
His opponent
was on city council.
Yeah.
So they decided, the Republican Party, who loves Jeff Younger so much and is going to fight for him, gave his opponent hundreds of thousands of dollars to make sure he couldn't win.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. That's just whatever. Actually, we got a question or a comment coming here. Let's pop that up here. All right, from Joshua. Once people wake up and realize there is no Republican or Democrats, there are only lawyers, and we the people will be much better off. Unfortunately, these lawyers understand that voters only go and press a letter that is listed beside a name.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. That's a conversation that I have with my nephew, Nico, about the impact that the two-party system has had, right? Mm-hmm. We saw firsthand with the DA race in Tarrant County. We're both in Tarrant County. We were big proponents of Tiffany. On paper, she was a Republican. She's been doing the job for 25 years. She was the top. She was high on the food chain with the DA in Tarrant County. She was the third highest ranked position in front of her boss, which is Sharon Wilson, which she has a questionable past, in practices. But there were, I mean, and when I would get in some of these conversations in these threads, people would say, no Democrat, Democrat, voter fraud this, voter fraud that. Yeah. Show me a Republican DA that's prosecuting voter fraud right now. Name me one. I'll hold my breath, right?
Well, I mean, our current DA, before he took it down out of embarrassment because I called him out on it, he was going to take care of bail reform. And I went, dude, as DA, that's not even your job. I have more power to control bail reform than you do.
Yeah.
And then he got mad, and then he took it down. So,
that's he only got that position, like that gentleman said, just because he had an R beside his name, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because there were people that were coming out that were giving endorsements, which I think was a little bit too late in the game for Tiffany. They were Republicans. I mean, and she actually got picked up by the dude who runs a very prestigious law firm in Tarrant County, because he worked for her as an assistant prosecutor or something like that. Just like the mayor of Haltom City, he was a Republican. He said between this race with these two candidates, Tiffany is the more qualified. And that's just that blind legion and voter ignorance and party. Because I didn't think I would ever vote for a Democrat DA, but she's been doing the job, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, that was a good comment. Very accurate too. So. Yeah.
We've got to get this message out because, I've been in this movement now actually a decade. You've been in it for how long have you been part of this little?
That's a good question. So I got drugged into this just like anything. And
you didn't willingly come in? You didn't wake up and go, I can't wait?
Just like anything in life, you're ignorant to the fact until you get involved with something personally. So to answer your question, Joy, in 2018, I went to what's Mark Ludwig's organization?
Americans for Equal Shared Parenting.
Yeah, so
Americans for Equal Shared Parenting.
They had a thing going on down there in Austin, right? So my stuff came up.
I was at that.
Yeah,
2019.
That's where I first met you,
Yeah.
man. It was back in 2018. So we got divorced in 2014.
Yeah.
For the most part, we co-parented okay. Once I got out on my own, I had my son almost half the year. I got him on 2 feet. Finished my bachelor's degree at North Texas,
All
and
right.
then I started questioning, why am I having to pay the full amount of child support of someone that's seeing their kid 4 days a month?
Right.
You take the kid away and we still have the same bills.
Right.
A day got taken away from me. I knew I couldn't do anything about it, and that's what got me in. And it's just been like a peeling back layers of onions, man. I mean, because it's everywhere. There's so many cogs in this monster, right? And people were oblivious to it. I had a buddy that I grew up with that he said, man, I used to read some of the things that you would post, dude, and everything that you said was going to happen happened, right? And really, people, that's my biggest frustration with people. Everyone's got family members, right? For the most part, they got males in their family, they got females in their family, they got friends and relatives that are men and women. This affects everybody. And it's just really a matter of time with the way that society is going. You've already given the numbers, loose numbers of 70% of divorces are started by females, and with these bills that they are trying to pass, there's no turning back. You don't get your liberties back. They're not going to say, okay, we made a mistake. We're not going to go after lawyer fees by any means necessary. We're no longer going to collect child support. We know several cases. Paternity fraud is another one. That's going to be that's going to be another one. That makes it questionable of how can you do this. We know someone in the state of Texas, Gabriel Cornejo.
Yep.
Yeah, he's someone. I mean, there's not a shortage of stories in any way, shape, any flavor, I guess is the best way to put it. So, but yeah, that's how I got started in 2018, man. And then I met y'all, and then started getting linked up, and then tried to start getting involved, following the politics because they matter. But people really have to. It has to mean something to them because it's not about. I'll never be a benefit from it, but I want my kids just like you, man.
Right.
I don't want him to have to deal with it because who's to say that with the numbers he has a child with someone she wants to see if the grass is greener on the other side. He has a child and then his kid's taken away from him. So
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. So in the 5 years? Yeah. Sorry, I went to school up north, so public education system. So I'm trying to do the math. But so in the 5 years that you've been in this, I mean, what would you tell yourself 5 years ago? What would you tell Joe?
Well,
5 years younger, less gray hair. You're still handsome though, so that's good. You get better with age.
I would probably, I think it's a fallacy to say you have to be selective with who. Obviously, you have to do that, right? You don't want to just pick up someone that's off the street, because the way that our society is. I mean, that's one element of it, man. But really, I mean, I really don't know, man. I mean, I don't think there's any. Go ahead.
We got a lot of people. I mean, I've been in for a decade, and I was actually, 4 years in, I made the change to kind of where I'm at now, and I just see it picking up steam. And I see other members going down that. I'll give you mine, and then we can see what you think. And I'm always open to the discussion. But in my decade of doing this, I'm thinking being nice to the politicians is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Kissing their butts and contributing to the campaigns and all that. Where I'm at right now is, and I say this respectfully, contact them and call them out at every opportunity. Go to where they're having their fundraisers and their meet and greets and all that stuff. Call them, find out where they're going to be. Go there and be respectfully call them out. When I say respectful, I don't mean kiss their butt, but I mean get educated. Have your data and call them out in front of all their constituents. Let all their constituents know what they are and what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And then get these guys voted out or scare them enough into doing the right thing. I mean, that's where that's at.
Absolutely. So to answer that question, I think what I would 5 years. I wish that I was able to finesse people enough to want to get involved, right? But that goes along that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. And those are the people that the voter base, right, is what it comes down to. I think we would have a lot more traction if we were able to get the public to care about this. And quite frankly, people don't give a shit. They don't care. You're an IT guy. You got the numbers from the stuff that we push out there, right? There's something that we've talked about that's the most frustrating part is people, I'm not anybody special. I go to things. I was plugging away last year, man,
Right.
At least 3 nights out of the week during the election cycle, man.
Right.
And I was doing my part, and everyone's got a life. You got to pay bills. You got to spend time, slice and dice the time that we have, right? But if and when you can make stuff, you've got to try and go, right? Because I had some of those conversations. I've talked to Jesse Navarre down here in Tarrant County and said, hey, Jesse, I'd like to see one of your coworkers get in trouble because they've broken the law. We know why the system is the way that it is. We know about the Texas Family Code that says judges are supposed to maximize child support. They don't care about the visitation. It's not about what's in the best interest of the child. It's about what's in the best interest of the state, and that's money. And it will always be about money. And whenever I told him that, he tried to blow smoke up my tail, and I'll let him. I'll be respectful and let him think that he's got one up on me. But whenever you're able to come and it's a fine line. You said it earlier or on one of the podcasts, when you start kind of throwing some of these things out, we really want to try and be cautious and make sure that we're coming with accurate information.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Because then they don't want to say, oh, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But you can't refute a Texas statute, right, that says that's their job. Well, what happens if they're not doing their job accordingly? Well, more than likely they might be. Maybe Abbott says, hey, you're not collecting that child support money like you're supposed to be doing. You're going to get a replacement. As a matter of fact, Jesse Navarro, I think, was placed by Greg Abbott, right? I've had conversations with some of the Republican people, a judge in particular that I won't say, that she told me he was placed by Abbott. But just getting people engaged and turning on their activation switch really is what it comes down to. Because again, the way society is, it's not about us. It's not about the people that are affected by it now. It's the future generations. And it's only going to get worse. I mean, if this stuff passes, I was talking with my wife. I'm having serious concerns about the direction that Texas is going, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to be far from California. We're not.
No, we're like the Diet Coke of California right now, in my opinion. And, that's part of the thing is, you over the 5 years you've been involved with this. Have you seen the needle moved, and so in which direction?
The only move that I've seen with some of the things that I go to and some of the things that I follow is some fresh faces, some continuing fresh faces. But realistically, that needle isn't moving enough in the direction. It's moving in the direction it needs to for people. But the volume of people is not enough to make change. It's just not.
Right. It's fact. Cold-hearted fact. And, people like, share, subscribe. I think like mine, Pissed Off Parent Site's like the only YouTube channel out there is getting looked at by a couple people. Find that interesting. Going out there and subscribing to it and showing that we have those numbers is one way to do that. I personally, don't care if it's Pissed Off Parent or Americans for Parental Equality and AFESP and Dad Talk Today and all the others out there. It's just getting that collection of people, that large number that are actually going to do something, but have that large number, and then you can get the Joe Rogans and the Jordan Petersons and and our legislators to come to the table, because when 10 people or 100 people or 200 people go down to Austin and say we want to be in our kids' lives past HB 803, they're like, let's see here, I'm going to make a couple $1 million that y'all know about, several million that you won't ever see that I'm doing, and I'm hosing this. Why would I give a care what 200 parents say?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
it's cold hard facts.
Yeah, and the reality is, we're going to see what happens this legislative session. I don't think it's going to be a shock, right?
No.
There's been the committee, the committee placements. We've got Dutton on there again, which is a Democrat. Cook's on there.
Didn't Phelan say that they're not going to put any more Democrats in charge of any of the committees?
Yep.
Isn't that in that one of the planks or whatever? Or didn't we all write a bunch of letters? And
I was
down
there with several people that I signed up to be a delegate,
Okay.
Right? And it's the biggest circle jerk, man. Is what it is. Honestly, bro, it's no different. It's no different than at the local level, like on the county level.
Right.
Because I'm not a precinct chair.
Right.
I've volunteered to help the precinct chair, which is like a grunt worker, man. I manage and go door knock my section of blocks to educate voters whenever it's time for it. But it was a big old circle jerk, man. It's no different than what happens at the committees over here, because at the end of the day, we don't have any those bills live and die based on the committee chairs. Right. And they already have which ones determined and decided which ones are going to go through and which ones aren't. And if it involves money, more than likely this retroactive child support stuff is going to go through with flying colors right there.
Right there. That's how it's going to work. I mean, mark my words. I will eat crow. Get the pepper ready and salt and pepper ready. I will eat crow if equal share. Well, we don't even have a bill yet, but that's the program. And if you're mad at what I or Joe were saying, I mean, prove us wrong. I mean, pop it in the comments. Do whatever. I mean, this is on the lay of the land. The way we're reading this, this is what's out there, and the only way this is going to change is if people get involved. You share this stuff, you like it, you get that thing going, and more Texans get involved. I mean, the Pissed Off Parent show is going to be 99% of the time about Texas. I'll bring in other parts of the country, the world, based on whatever. But I'm keeping the focus in Texas. Keep it separate from the other stuff that I do, because I really want Texas to come together and get this message out and get people involved. I will say, and I am happy to if other groups do that, but I don't know if I co-host another show, a small little show, Dad Talk Today, and I got some merch from from the office, along with my tumbler here that I use. Actually, I have this one, and then when I want to meet the ladies, they have a new show called the Big Show with Jimmy Smith. Actually, good guy, good advice out there. But one of the shirts I wore, let me put it on here. Let's see. Well, it's not that one. It's this guy right here. I bought this shirt, $30, and it's not to sell merch, although it does help the organization out a little bit. There's a lot of overhead costs. I do mine for free. That's me. I'm crazy that way. But I want to get the conversation started. And I wore this T-shirt yesterday. And it says, instead of asking fathers to fight harder, start asking mothers why he has to fight at all. It's a very powerful thing.
It is.
I went out to 2 or 3 places, a grocery store and a restaurant, and then dancing around town. I try not to get out too much because I don't like people, but I was getting sneers. I heard a couple people go, "Look at that guy's shirt," and then I heard one guy, "He's right." That was gold right there when I heard them say, "He's right."
Yeah,
and that's how you do it.
Yeah, well, it's the most. We're not trying to send a ship to the moon, right?
Right.
We're talking about basic fundamental parental rights. It's an issue. It's a system that's been around for 50, 60 years. It's a failed, broken policy, just like any other government policy, right?
Right.
And this is as common as it gets, right? I think it makes sense. Why should we have to fight for our children? I mean, if we're not drug addicts, alcoholics, beating up on our ex-wives or the mother of our children or our kids, it's big government is what it is. It comes down to whose children are they? And are they the government's children or are they our children? And I would argue that they're the government's children with how they can get into our own personal lives is what it comes down to.
Now it is.
Which goes along with the personal liberty, our infringement on our liberties, man. You don't get them back. These infringements aren't going to decrease. Robert Garza, I was talking to him the other day, and if y'all don't know who Robert Garza is, he's a local Texan too.
Yep.
He spent over $500,000 fighting over 40 false sexual allegations.
700,000. Yeah.
He didn't get any money back from false allegation, which that's another issue. It's a Fox Garden. There's no checks and balance system. But we were talking about the bill. There's another bill to family SCJC is going to see about allowing 12-year-olds to start to determine where they want to live, right? Which I don't think, generally speaking, aside from the outliers, I don't think children, not I don't think, I know children don't have the mental capacity to know what's in their best interest. And what he was saying is he personally feels like he was very forward thinking with the whole transgender stuff on the youth, that it's going to set precedents for them to now say, well, children can decide where they want to live. That's an adult decision. They should now be able to start to choose whether they want to proceed with sex change operations or not, because they definitely haven't banned that yet. Last time I checked,
Yeah. The bills they're coming down with is just nuts, and we've got to do something. Again, the thing I talk about is I know we're all dead broke. We all have our own lives. We're trying to get along, but this stuff is coming down. They're taking advantage of us. We have got to come together and fight for our kids. For anyone out there that's actually on the opposite side, the Family Law Foundation, the Bresnans, and lawyers, and whoever else may be watching this, you definitely got nothing against me because I have 100% access or 100% custody of my children, and I get paid child support. So all your arguments, fall down on me. 3, these guys know that none of these changes are going to impact them personally. It's going to be for their kids. That's why we're fighting. The arguments that we want to get out of paying child support and we want to do it's all nonsense. I'm sure you're going to find some guys out there that's the reason. The large part here, we just want to be in our kids' lives. We want to make things better for our kids. So that's why I do it. But coming back to the home turf, and for our guys and girls out there, we have got to come together and start contacting our legislators. Actually, while we were talking, I popped up Davies'
his contact info.
Yeah, let me pop that up there. I love showing that off. Let's see here. And we'll pop that up there. There we go. So and what you can do is call him, and I would say again, be respectful. Not, and when I say be respectful, don't kiss his butt, but get educated. You can go to pissoffparent.com as one location that has a lot of free information that you can have there. You can actually pull the bills, and I think it's actually in the chat or in the invite, or you can go out to legiscan.com. This is not super secret stuff here. You can go to legiscan.com, type in the bill number.
Very low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, and look at the bill yourself. If you don't believe what we're saying, boy, DuckDuckGo's having fun here. There we go. And read the bill for yourself. There's a lot of monosyllabic words here, and that should tell you. I've talked about on previous shows in the last week the retroactive child support bill. That one should scare every boy, man in the world. There's actually one we're going to talk about at some point in the near future, because I really want to dig into it and just layer it up for you. I'll give you a quick little primer on this bill. Actually, Cook did. He's the one that submitted it. But it basically allows them to go after your estate if you remarry and you have assets, and your new spouse does something, paints or buys groceries or fixes something or mows the lawn or whatever. That would give them access to your assets. This is how bad this is getting.
Family law is so convoluted. It's only getting more convoluted. Is what it comes down to. It's just they're mucking it up even more.
Yeah, and this is not tinfoil hat stuff. This is what's coming down the pipe, coming to a checkbook near you, and they've realized that the equal shared parenting community as a whole. I'm going to be blunt, and this is going to probably piss a lot of people off. Of course, that's why I'm the pissed off parent. But I guess I go into the doctor and he tells me I'm fat. I'm mad at him, but you know what? He's right. They're laughing at us because we aren't organized. We infight. We do little dumb things, or we get one guy that calls the Capitol. And by the way, for whoever is out there, when you call or email, don't do anything at all that could be construed as threatening. They killed that bill a bill that actually Dutton presented a couple years ago because someone had left a voicemail saying that he wanted to talk to him the next time he sees him. And the way he wrote it could possibly, it was potential to get construed as a threat. Well, this guy, oh God, blah blah, and then cancel the whole thing. So for all the dunderheads that want to email or call or show up and threaten them, you're basically hosing the entire community with your emotions.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do it.
You have to keep them at bay. I mean, we have every right to be pissed off, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Pissed off parents, right? But you have to keep your composure when talking to these people, and it's not gonna. It is gonna do anything. Again, I'm not anybody special, but Cook knows my face, right?
Yeah.
He
should. They all should know.
But I didn't, and that's something ironically that we talked about. He said, well, I was like, look, I'm not gonna. I was like, I think we have a level of respect. I'm going to treat you respect. You're going to treat me respect. He's like, well, yeah. He's like, or else I wouldn't be talking to you. I was like, all that aggressive stuff doesn't get anybody anything, right? Who you get more bees with honey than you do vinegar, and you have to keep your composure. This is something that we have to do, right? But it's not the only thing. That I think the more pressing thing to go along with this is the people getting active. Right.
Yeah.
Not just the familiar faces and the familiar names that we know from just being involved in it and sharing the stuff and knowing what people post or knowing the inner circle. There has to be mass resistance towards this. Families of Texas that have gone through it or that aren't going through it say, this isn't going to happen anymore. We're not allowing the state of Texas to do this to our families and to our children of Texas. Until there's mass resistance, like you said, they see us as unorganized,
We're a joke. I mean, I'll call it. I'm sure I'm going to tick somebody off, but we're a joke to them because they know that we can't organize and we can't affect change. We can't dethrone these guys. If I'll just say Cook, but I'm not speaking about him directly at this point. But if we got 1 million people together that said, Cook, either you put together and actually pass an equal shared parenting bill, or the next election cycle you're gone. That's what he's going to care about. That's it.
Yeah.
There. That
for sure. It's a
kissing his
position
butt.
of power. They ran for a reason. It's an ego trip. Bradley Miller said it best. A lot of these people are borderline narcissists.
Yeah,
or borderline sociopaths.
And sometimes that's a good thing. I mean, having that aggressive, there's good qualities with that. But my whole thing is, over the decade that I've been involved, we've had let's all get involved in the political environment. Let's go to all the rallies and let's do this and let's do that. And I mean, again, this is going to tick more people off, but I'm fighting. I'm wanting to use words that they're not like dirty words, but they're definitely not nice words.
People are pussyfooting about it. They're pussyfooting about it.
Well, no, they look at us like we're useful idiots. They're like,
yeah.
I can get you to go poll watch for me, and I'll just I'm going to promise you whatever, and you don't get it. I mean, they're using us, and I don't know about Title 4D. I'm going to go ahead and say on the record. Everyone at the legislature, they all know about Title 4D. They know about Title 4E. They know about any representative that tells you they don't know. They're lying to you. But no, they're lying to you. That's just the cold hard facts. And I had a representative's daughter who worked closely. Looked me right in my face and tell me that they knew nothing about a certain law when they talked to Joe about it a couple weeks prior to that. Yeah. I think it was Joe.
I know who you're talking about. Phil Sorrell's daughter.
Yeah. They and again, they are going to. This is what they do, and we've got to push them and say no. This isn't going to work anymore. We've got to get people together to fight this. Rallies aren't going to work for a couple reasons. One, we're all working. I mean, I work for a living. You work for. Everyone's working for a living. And who wants to go out and sit around? And it doesn't really do a whole lot. But sending a message, getting an organization, and I don't care which one it is. I know we got the glory hounds out there. That's all got to be about them. I personally don't care.
That's something we talked about. It turns into a big dick swinging contest.
Exactly.
Sorry for the language, but that's the way that it comes across. That's exactly what they want. They want the infield fighting.
Oh yeah.
And that's why they don't take us seriously.
Yeah. I don't care who it is. I just want somebody to say we've got a million people that we can swing and say, if you don't do this, you're not getting elected, and make those things happen, cause those issues. The way that can work for everyone on here, you don't have to have money. Like, share, subscribe. That actually helps out quite a bit in all the different social media formats. It also lets them know, hey, there are people that are watching. This issue impacts directly and indirectly pretty much every person on the planet in some way
in our country.
Or fashion.
It's the fall of our country.
You know,
so it's like the bigger picture stuff. Really, that's how they introduced communism in Russia, was a breakdown of the nuclear family. We've already seen it firsthand within the Black community. 2 or 3 generations, fatherlessness is 75%. 75% of children, I think, and these are just loose numbers. It's stuff that you've talked about. You've heard Thomas Sowell talks about it, right? It's the beginning of the end, really.
Right. The thing is, we got to get people not caring about the Grammys and the Super Bowl and the World Series and all that stuff. And again, I'm doing that tongue in cheek. But if you're caring more about who wins a football game than what's going on with your kids and what's going on to your future, your priorities are goofed up.
That's pussyfooting I was talking about. That's what I meant whenever you were talking about the legislators.
Yeah, and we've got to get people together. So, I mean, I would ask everyone here, go on your personal Facebook, although Facebook is becoming the MySpace of the future. But, go out to pissedoffparent.com, get educated. And I offer my website out there because there really isn't another website that has that level of data. If there was another one, I would gladly send you there. And if anybody wants it, knock yourself out. I hate maintaining it all the time. But, go to the YouTube channel, go and subscribe to it, like it, pull those numbers so we can start showing our legislators that we mean business. Copy down David Cook's contact information. Send him an email. Send him a voicemail. Respectfully tell him, hey, I've looked at this. Why would you give immunity to these clowns? For that. And then as we talk about more of these bills, and I've already talked about some of the bills, the retroactive child support, and I've put their information out there. Contact them. Let them know what you think of them. Let them know what, that they can't be doing this, and then tell your friends. That's one of the reasons why I pitched the shirt. I mean, the shirts cost pretty much what they are to make. And again, if someone else comes up with shirts, I'm trying to. This is not a money-making scheme. And I don't care if you have a shirt printer at home and you can make a shirt that says, Dad shouldn't have to fight, or I hate legislators, or whatever, do it. Get the conversation. When you're out in the public square, wear some gear that is going to start a conversation. You would be surprised at how many people, when they're approached about it or they see something, they're going to get involved, and then you've got an ally. Then you can get that message out. I would encourage everyone to get on your Facebook, like, share, subscribe, whichever feed you're looking at. Get on your personal site and personally invite 5 of your friends a day. And get them involved, because that's the only way this is going to change. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here in a couple years begging the government to see your kid. Well, wait, we're already doing that. Never mind.
We're already doing it.
Yeah, we're already there. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. There's just a lot there. Trying to think of any other fun things. Here's a funny one. I was actually, and again, throw something up in the chat. I think I saw a couple comments in here. Actually, Mark had a good suggestion here. Take one of your vacation days, hit the Capitol. 1,000 dads need to come together in Texas. Come on, man. Get my ice cream out and lick it there. Come on, man. As far as getting the media, and this is why I talk about these alternative medias, like the Pissed Off Parent YouTube channel and stuff like that, and other organizations, and supporting them. The Fox News, the CNNs, the MSNBC, they're not going to report. Hell, we had a couple days ago up in Ohio, a train crashed and spewed all this garbage into the air. It's killing fishes, birds, people, you name it. It's nowhere on the news. Our news is bought and paid for. Yep. They're not gonna, my story's the worst and blah, blah, blah. They don't care. They are bought and paid for. Yep. So that's one of the reasons why I say, like, share, subscribe, get this information out to other people. I did want to show a funny one. So, we talk about, guys don't want to pay child support and all that. We had a guy that made a post about how him and his ex, he's still paying child support and all that, and he wants to go back to court and fight and start making her pay, because she actually makes more. They have 50-50, and and their state, I think they got the income share, and she should start paying child support. And this is what she wrote. I thought this was hilarious. Said, "Ain't that some stuff? If I were to ever have to pay my baby daddy, I would straight up quit my job, laugh my ass off, and reevaluate the child support expense. No way I'm giving 50-50 and paying his bum ass." I put that it's funny, but this is how they think.
Yeah.
They're like, the mindset, the way it is today is that, dads, we're the payers. That's how it works.
Yeah.
And this is the way they're thinking. Anyway, I figured I just threw up a nice little funny one to kind of break up the doom and gloom. But yeah, Joe, anything else you wanted to talk about? I mean, we kind of, I think, ran through everything. We'd actually been going a little bit over an hour, so good show.
No, I think it was good, man. I definitely, again, appreciate you having me on. I know we had talked about it before. It's nice to see someone actually pick the lead up on it.
Microphone.
Right? Yeah, you, Bubba. You've been covering good stuff. People need to pull their heads out of their asses. I'll be blunt, is what it comes. I'm a straight shooter, is what it comes down to, because I mean, we're treading in some scary territory for Texas, and in the 5-10 years from now, if this stuff gets passed, there's no turning back. And it's not like they're going to say, okay, Texas is going to get off the government tit. It ain't happening, but it's only going to get worse, man.
Right.
But it's good. I'll definitely be looking forward to us doing it again, covering something else. Maybe me and you can kick some stuff around on the back end, revisit it, cover another bill, make the connections. Hopefully people are sharing this stuff. People have to get educated, man, is really what it comes down to. If they got time to look on their phones at TikTok or YouTube, stuff that has no substance or value that can directly impact them or their children, like you said, they don't have the priorities straight, man.
Yeah,
you have to.
I've said it for a while. You deserve what you get. I mean, if that's how you're doing your life, and you know what, people can get mad at me all they want. You got no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, well, it makes me think of that, to take away, not to be, because we have to tread cautiously with some of the stuff that we present, because people will go and run with it, the opposing side. Yeah. But it's just like that damn Joker movie that came out at the very end, where he tells that Robert De Niro, you get what you effing deserve, man. Yeah. And not the whole gun stuff, but just that, not being involved and paying attention, keeping your eye on the ball is what it comes down to, man. Right. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe we can dress up as clowns or something like that to try and increase viewership. Maybe some people will post it and say, look at these two clowns, to try and trick the algorithm. I'm a firm believer that some of this stuff is suppressed. There's things that people will post that are in the inner circle of the advocates that I don't see it until days later when it's not. I think some of your stuff that you were telling me about, I didn't even know you had stuff that you were putting out there. So I was able to play catch up today whenever we caught up earlier this afternoon, man.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff, I put there. I mean, Farce Book and TalkTick and all that, they like to keep that out, because it actually had Eric and I, we played some zombies last night instead of watching the Super Bowl, and it got thousands of views, and people were paying us money. They were actually sending in donations and stuff, and it just blew my mind, because here I'm providing information that is going to help families and get them out of trouble, and nothing and all that. And that's why, again, it's so important. Like, share, subscribe, get your friends involved, all that. And I always say, I got something in the chat here. Let's see, dress up as a superhero, DC or Marvel. You know what? I'm equal opportunity. Marvel. I lean a little more towards Marvel. I'm actually excited about the new Ant-Man movie that's coming out, and as you can tell, I'm a huge nerd, so this is my jams. I enjoy it. More. I always want to be Wolverine. Actually, Punisher.
That's what I grew up on, brother. I still got my comic books, man.
Oh yeah,
I was big into the X-Men, dude.
Oh yeah, I got a couple boxes of my comic books on it. Love all that stuff. But yeah, we should start doing that. Oh, we got an Iron Man. Mark's an Iron Man lover. Awesome. Let's see what we got. Ricardo. Thank you guys for what you do. Hey, we're Love doing it. I you know, again, as I mentioned, I'm essentially out of the system. I'm a 50-year-old guy, so as long as I keep sucking wind, I'm going to keep doing this stuff. But I really want my whole goal is for to bring families together, keep kids with their families. I'm a firm believer in the nuclear family. I know that doesn't always work out that way. But you know, what I see is wrong, and we've got to fix it. So
Yep.
I'm doing everything I can on my own dime. I might add. And I don't want to not brag about. I don't want to say I'm bragging about it, but I don't do donations and all that stuff for.
I'll brag on it. I'll brag on you, man. A lot of people don't. Just like some of like the Jeff Morgans with all the work that he puts in. He's one of the hardest working men that I know.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that isn't too familiar with Dwayne, I've been able to get a chance to know him a little bit on a personal level. He's, not literally next door neighbor, but he's less than 10 miles from me. Right. Oh, there you go. High five. Less than 10 miles from me. And he's already, he's aged out of the system. Almost. You got one of your kids that are aged out, right?
Yeah, one of mine is aged out, and my 17-year-old, he lives with me full time, and I get paid child support. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to be doing this, but it's not about. It's the future generations, right? Is what it comes down to. I mean, we're blessed for the Dwayne Wards, the Jeff Morgans, the Mark Escobar. I see him. I've gotten a chance to catch up with him and Eric whenever they've been in town, man. And those are the people that are putting in the work, right, and not looking for the pat on the back. But thank you. Which I've told you before, Dwayne, for the stuff that you do and for the things that the other people do, and at least a like, share, and subscribe. And if no one's been to his page, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but there is a plethora of information on his website with bad actors, with the money, you name it. There's everything on his page.
Yeah, all the information's there. It's easy to share it. You can get all the basics. I got a Texas section, since Harson, Texas. I got some facts, and then I got actually an aggregator that goes all over the world, and every couple hours it updates with new info. But anything that impacts shared parenting, child support, parental alienation. I got forum posts about child support and all that, and then actually a couple of the other groups that I'm affiliated with. I always post all of their stuff here, so it's a really one-stop shop for that, and different sections down here. But yeah, and it's one of those. Actually, if you're on here and you actually have a page of your own or whatever, and you want to get new articles and learn about this stuff or put them on yours, I would recommend coming out here a couple times a day versus searching on your own, and it's all right here for you. But yeah, labor of love. I've worked. Yeah, I'll be honest. I've worked many an hour to put all this together, and it's been. I see the greater good in it. I'm hoping that people use it. Again, all the information's free. I don't want any whatever for it. I would appreciate if you do take something or whatever, which I on the ones I don't care, but don't put your logo over it and make I guess I gotta burden one group. I can't help it. I made a video. Let's see. It's funny. Oh boy,
I think I've seen this video.
I'm gonna get in trouble. It's the one I did where it's the Pong. Let's see here. And I'm trying to also get my subscriber base above 636. I actually remember you making fun of Brian Hughes on his bad bill. But let's see, where is that? It's really fun. It's one of those I have to show it off because it means so much with the story. Here we go. So a group took this video and they put their name over it. There, I'll pause that. They put their name over it and put it as their video. And I said, I don't care if you guys used it and knock yourself out, but you're telling everybody you're the one that created it. And they're like, yeah, we did. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally the guy on the video. Oh, actually, I didn't. Hold on, let me share. I'm literally the guy on the video. That's literally me. God, let me fast forward that a little bit because I look really bad. I look even dumber there. But yeah, they just kept we made the video. I kept going. I'm literally the guy in the video. That's my voice, my picture. I'm wearing a judge outfit. And I said I don't care if you took it. I mean, this educates. Knock yourself out. It's free to share. Don't care who does what with it, but don't make it. Don't say you did it. Anyway, All right, I'm off my soapbox there. All right, so like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everyone about it. If you get a chance, and again, if other people want to sell their merchandise and stuff like that, this is like the only place I know that sells merchandise. So you can get shirts, start the conversation, and say check out Dad Talk Today. Let's see, I'm looking up here.
Yeah, you've been on. How frequent are you going to be? Well, it's hit or miss with you. You've been going on there pretty consistently, though, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm on there on Saturdays, Sundays. Actually, I'm doing the big show. We had a little fun with it last weekend. It was his first official week, but Jimmy Smith show actually had a very interesting story. Great guy, health dude. Actually, I'm going to be doing the. He was for the guys that don't know, he was the inspiration for Magic Mike.
Hey.
He was the guy. This guy. He was a WWE wrestler. He was in a boy band, and he was the whole premise or whatever behind Magic Mike. And they still put his picture up alongside stuff that they do. But he's actually a health nut, and he is going to get my button gear. Actually, he sent me the kits and other stuff, and I'm getting some other things going. And we're going to do a 90-day challenge where I'm going to get my butt into Magic Mike, ready to go. And we were talking about it. We were kind of knocking around on the show a couple weeks ago. And my wife, after I got off the show, I walked downstairs. My wife's like, "So, you doing it?" And I'm like,
I'm about to say, ladies better watch out. Mama better watch out too.
Yeah, I'm a one
awesome,
woman man.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to the progress, man. I know I caught the tail end of a post or something like that, man, and I haven't had a chance to catch that video, but I'll probably watch it sometime this week, man.
Yeah, it's a good thing doing a little cross stuff here, but the big show. This guy, a single guy, and he teaches. He's a coach. He teaches guys dating after divorce, and actually, we go back and forth and talk about good stuff. And I'm like, I take that information, and I'm a married guy, and I use that in my marriage. I mean, because he talks about how putting. When they go somewhere, he makes sure that she's the center, person, and people are looking at him, and then how he treats her, and the different tips and tricks. And for the guys that are trying to date, like actually the one we did Sunday, is dating after divorce. So we talked about tips and tricks for what you should do as you're moving forward dating after divorce, what to look out for, how to set your profile up, and a lot of stuff there. We're going to be talking about, because again, it's Dad Talk Today, so we talk about testosterone injections and prostate exams and kids. I mean, all those things that, because and again, the Dad Talk Today show is a lot of different things, not just child support and all that, but we talk about dad stuff and guy stuff. I mean, just things that are, I'm 50 years old, and I'll tell you right now, I mean, when I hit 35, in more ways than one, and I'm getting the old T injections, and I'm a happy camper. I mean, it's not just for certain areas of me. It's all over, and energy and just stuff like that, and it. Just teaching you kind of that well-being to get right side. I mean, being involved in this stuff all the time, it wears you down. You got to have that
yes, it does.
balance. You got to have all those things. So, it's a good show. I recommend it. Of course, everyone check it out. I'm on there consistently, or permanently, however you want to say it, Saturday and Sunday. Actually, I may be on Monday since it's a bank holiday. So I may be on there and doing stuff. But yeah, no, he's got a great show, a lot of fun stuff. Got a lot of good programs. I mean, actually, I just released that teaser video for David Henderson a week or so ago, and I'm going to start working on that, or working more on that, and just a lot of stuff out there. And that's where we need a lot of people to get involved and bring your God-given talents. I mean, I'm a nerd, so I know how to do video editing, so that kind of, that's an area I go in. If you got some people that are good in this area, good in that area, and just we all come together. But we got to get people involved.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That's the biggest rub, man. Is ultimately what it comes down to me. I've shared that with you with personal conversations whenever we've been able to catch up on the phone or in person, and some of the other people. I've told that many a times to Jeff Morgan. People, and what I get. Everyone has a right to be able to be sad and complain about their personal story for just a little bit. but you have to move past that because it's bigger than just your story. It's an overall, it's a system, is what it is.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and once you realize that, yeah, I mean, getting on here and word vomiting your personal story as if it's the worst one, which it's not. That's getting more into the the griping area of it. But people, if they just heard we've all heard your story. The legislators don't care. The judges don't care. I mean, it's all about money. Once you get past that, and that's one of the reasons why I made that Title 4D video, and there were a couple of them. Is it, at least for me, when I learned that they weren't laughing at me in court, they just wanted my money. It clicked and it made sense. Now I understood my enemy at that point.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that does it for other people, and they get educated and they realize they get a good I'm mad and I'm upset, I'm pissed off, and start using that anger. I mean, it's like and I played football as a kid. I didn't, when you got knocked down, you didn't go, yeah, your dad yelled at you, get up off your ass, throw up some dirt on it, get back in the game. That's what us as men are supposed to do.
Yep.
Not this whining and crying and all this other stuff and hear my story. No. You get a plan and you execute it. That's what you do. And that's what I'm hoping people do. Instead of caring about what's on TikTok, the Grammys, Super Bowl, and all that garbage, you get educated, which, again, the website will give you some good bottom shelfy type of stuff to educate you. You figure out where your talents are, you get with the community, and you go out there and you make some change for your kids.
Yes, sir. That's what it comes down to, brother.
Yeah, on the flip side of it, put in the chat. Actually, I think we got a few more comments maybe. Let's see. Oh, someone's saying I should wear a judge outfit. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? On a show on Dad Talk Today a couple weeks ago, I did an interview with my Optimus Prime helmet. Actually, I got Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Soundwave right there. So yeah, I've been known to don the mask. I try to keep it exciting in the bedroom, but do all kinds of fun stuff. But throw it in the chat, throw in the comments. I'll be watching those later. Any shows you'd like to see? I mean, again, right now we're kind of doing. It sounds like Strickland did a similar thing with Bad Bill of the Week. We'll do a Bad Bill of the Hour the way it's going. But if you guys want to see some other stuff that we can do some research on, or other guests to have on, we can see about what we can do there, and then try to build this thing. Getting more and more people involved is how this is going to change. Otherwise, we might as well go back to playing zombies. Hell, apparently I made money, and I got to talk to Eric about my cut of the bonus. We were playing zombies, and all of a sudden, some stars came in and some other stuff. We were just having fun. We had no whatever, and I'm like, are people paying us to play video games? We're a bunch of old farts playing around killing zombies. I'm like, God, I'm doing the wrong thing. I don't get paid. Not that I want to get paid for doing this, but good God. Anyway,
maybe the switch would be to collect. Expect being able to collect the funds for this stuff by playing that, right? Because we know the audience that we're dealing with, right? We're tight on a budget to begin with, man.
Oh yeah, shoestring budget.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Guys.
Hey, well, it was good, man. Thanks again, Dwayne.
Yeah, it was great having everybody in. Again, share this with your friends, family, enemies, ex-wives, ex-husbands. Share it. I will talk to you. I may even open up a phone line at some point. We will see. But until the next time, we'll see if we can get on a regular cadence. We'll see kind of how the data works and all that. But we'll see on the flip side. Until then, stay out of trouble. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.